when you look at procurement, anything that you're going to outsource or buy or use some services, you're going to need to get a contract. And there are different types of general contracts and different risks that apply. Who takes the risk if you do this? You might look at fixed price without a predetermination of what you're going to be doing. You could do firm fixed price. You might look at cost plus or cost reimbursable, cost plus fixed fee, time and materials contract, cost plus incentive fee, multiple incentives contract. So when you talk about a fixed price, let's say you went to the contractor that's building homes in a subdivision, and they built a lot of those homes before, so they give you a fixed price on an analogy estimate because they've built several like that. They can give you a pretty reasonable estimate. The problem is, no matter what it costs the contractor, the client as the client are going, or the buyer are going to be at risk because the contractor may not meet the time, because it's not going to make any more money if he finishes early, and he's not going to lose any money if he finishes sometimes later, typically, depending on how the contract's written. And so they may use cheaper materials than they planned. You may get the interior glue particle board instead of a rough end plywood. You might get inferior grade of wiring. You have 14 gauge wiring where you need 12 gauge. They put in because he had some extra. Oh, you were gonna have all copper piping with lead-free joints in your home, but the price of copper went up, so the contractor put in PEC. And if you don't see it when it goes in, you may not realize that you have plastic piping, polymer piping, and when you thought you had copper, and you paid for copper. So you give a lump sum contract, there are issues. It tends to put you at risk. They slip on time and quality. Cost plus, you go to your contractor and say, and it could be a lot of ways these are written. You might say that I'm building a home, and homes are pretty easy, and I want Italian marble in the bathroom. And you go, I don't want the gray local marble. I want pink Italian marble in my bathroom. And you go, okay. And I want teak in my walk-in closet with, mood lighting and things like that. And cost plus contract, it might be a cost plus a percentage. A contractor's going to say, sure, because they're going to order things, and if you've got money, and they can do it pretty fast. If you want to make changes in something and you have the money, a cost plus contract is pretty good, because you can say, I want to get this material, and the contractor says, sure, because they're going to get 15% over. So the more you spend, the more they get. Works. You have to watch that they don't overcharge you for the labor and get the percentage more. You have to be very leery of the and monitor the cost. But if there are a lot of changes, this is a good way to do it. It might be a cost plus award fee. You might even have an award committee that would say, if you do this structure, if you're building the casino in Atlantic City to compete, then you might get an award if you do it by this time, and you might have an award committee that's going to look at how that award should be given. You might have a cost plus fixed fee, so that the cost of everything, the contractor is reimbursed for all the direct allowable cost, and then any additional fixed amount or percentage to cover the overhead and profit. And it's good where the projects, where the scope changes frequently and the cost cannot be accurately estimated, that's a good way to do that. Regardless of the actual cost, the contractor's fee remains the same. So they know what they're getting paid for, and they want to finish on time so they can get their fee. So they usually do this pretty fast. Time and materials, a lab or outsourcing, somebody doing video or testing of your product or design or the software design, time and materials. That's typically, you get this much per hour, and consultants do time and materials contracts a lot of times. Labs do that. If you're going to test this and it's going to cost us this much for materials and this much. If you were an electrician and you're going to put in a service, you're going to have a time and materials contract to put in the new service for your wind generator or your nuclear, your 0-point energy module, whatever you're hooking up to your home. Cost plus incentive fee, you might have an incentive fee on something if you finish by a certain time. But all of these have risks, so make sure you go through your PMP study guide and you go through the text, the main text for the book, and make sure you look through all the different risk levels with these different contracts. And you would have to be able to recognize the type of contract by a general description for the written exam.